So I go to the store and I buy a cranberry, like the Red Bull, which is this cranberry. It's amazing. I love it. And I got me some cashews, which I shouldn't have, and a Snickers almonds bar.
You just ate so much that your chest hurts, and now you're getting cashews and a Snickers.
It's time to bring out chaos, Kass. Just take things up and show my sass. No one knows how dangerous I am, but tonight they all will. They all will see this.
Hey everybody, this is Survivor Talk with D&D. I'm Dwayne.
And I'm David.
And we are just two best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. And tonight is our discussion, little recap, mostly discussion of episode 12, Straw That Broke the Camel's Back.
Did you ever hear that said?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I never even caught that. I was so enthralled by the episode, I wasn't even listening for the title.
And what was the straw, and who was the camel? I kind of got the idea maybe Trish was the camel, and Kass talking to Spencer and Wu was the straw?
That could be, or it could have been Tony and Kass. You know, them turning on each other, talking too much about stuff they already talked about. I don't know. That's a good question.
Although Trish's legs look like camel legs.
No, they like the straw that was broken to break the camel's back. Sorry, Trish. I hope you got your candy and your food when you get off.
Oh, man. And, wow. I can't wait to talk about it. We want to hear what y'all had to say.
And we will do that Sunday night at 9 o'clock. You can join us live on YouTube and watch us do the feedback show. But don't forget, we need feedback to do the feedback show.
This is
true. Go to our website, survivortalkwithdnd.com, click on the feedback tab, and you can find all the ways to send in your feedback before 7 o'clock David time, and that would be Eastern time.
Yes, Will.
Sunday night. I'm sorry. I thought you meant 7 o'clock my time.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and call them out. Will was an hour late. Shayna was late. Who else was late last week?
Well, Shayna had an excuse. Yeah. Plus, she can be any late she wants to be. She's our
That's right.
Our good friend.
Shayna could actually just call in the middle of the show.
Exactly. In fact, she did just message us and say, "I'm sorry to bother you while you're getting online."
Yes. Well, we got some really neat ideas that we're trying to do during the summer.
And she's a big part of supporting that.
Yeah, she's trying to help us get it together. So anyway, hey, have you got a little something for the D&D after show for those watching on YouTube?
A little something. I've been asked quite often. In fact, more than I ever would have thought it would have been. Usually in private messages, folks say, "Hey, how did you and Dwayne become friends?" or something. So maybe they've asked you and you just ignored them. But yeah, people have asked me how we got started being friends. Are we really friends? And apparently they don't believe it. So tonight, folks, we're going to prove the sincerity, the depth, the relationship between Dwayne and David as I give Dwayne my best friend forever quiz. And hopefully at the end we will still be best friends, maybe at least acquaintances.
Oh, no. Wait. Am I getting a quiz at the end of the podcast?
And you're getting graded at the end of the quiz.
Oh, this is not cool. All right, well, if y'all want to see me totally fail this.
Believe me, if you get too many buzzes, I'm going to skip to the questions that you'd better know.
All right, this is on the D&D After Show only on YouTube. So, come on. Hey, a shout-out is due. We have a new patron on patreon.com/survivortalk, Mike K. from SoCal, who already helps us so much, not just with editing and always keeping our Facebook group current with, if David and I haven't gotten it up within 10 minutes of CBS getting it, then Mike's got it up. So, he's already doing that, but he became a patron tonight on patreon.com/survivortalk. So a big shout out to Mike K. from SoCal for becoming our newest supporter. He's such a good supporter.
He is, in so many ways.
Yes. So you can support our podcast too. Just go to survivortalkwithdnd.com/support. And you'll find PayPal, Patreon, and with Patreon we have some thank you gifts if you support. And of course, always, above all else, if you do nothing else, listen, but always shop Amazon using our links. That is our primary source of income, and it literally pays for us doing this. So thank you so much for shopping Amazon. Will today bought lots of cords, and it was amazing.
And just to clarify, it doesn't pay us to do this. It pays for us to do this.
Yes, let us clarify that.
Because if we got paid for this, we wouldn't see it. Our wives would see it.
That's right. Guy's like, what's this envelope in your side? Nothing. Nothing. There's nothing in there.
Don't look behind the curtain.
All right, so let's get to the show. By the way, already comments flying in at our ineptitude. Apparently, Tony said the title referring to Kass, and who tells us that? None other than our newest Patreon patron, Mike K.
That's why we brought it up, because we wanted somebody to bring it to our attention.
Yes. So apparently Tony said it. Well, to be fair, I have an antenna, and we had a major storm come through, and this doesn't normally happen, but my whole show was pixelated, and I basically had to interpret everything that was said. So
you probably thought she had been flipping the bird through the whole episode.
Yes.
Not just at the end.
Not just at the end.
Wow, they really blurred that.
The whole episode.
Blur after blur after point after point.
That's right. Hey, thank you for watching us on YouTube. Man, we got more viewers right now than we've ever had. Thank you so much. It's a lot of fun. You get to see how handsome David is.
Started.
Yes, let's get started.
Yes.
Initial thoughts. David, Trish is just too nice to play this game.
Who needs the book Self-Awareness?
Goodness gracious, woman. And I guarantee you we didn't see a tenth or 100th of what all she did tonight.
Or what she did with Lindsey.
Oh,
this brings back, what did we not see on that occasion? Because we thought we were getting, maybe Trish wasn't the so guilty in that situation. Maybe she's getting a better edit. Maybe she's turning out to be nicer than we thought. I mean, again, like you said, we didn't see it all tonight because Trish really she suddenly jumped out there to a point where you think, wow, that doesn't happen right away. That usually takes a little prodding.
Either that or her fuse is so short. Man, her veins were coming out of her neck. Now, when my vein, you can't see the veins in my neck anymore. That stopped a long time ago. Okay. But I mean, she just, to me, it looked like she reached a point where you couldn't have stopped her if they tackled her down. That is just more and more. And the more, the more calm Kass remained, the more furious Trish got. And the louder Trish got. Now, we didn't get to see a lot of that. But throughout this whole game, you watch Kass, she's composed, she's calculated, she knows what she says when she says it. Granted, she says things on purpose to push people's buttons, and she might have even done that, but she always remains calm. Tony even talked about it in Tribal Council. You always have that same stupid look on your face. It's called control. It's called knowing how to control yourself. And I guarantee you, Trish just could not handle that and went off and went off and went off. And no telling what she said. I mean, it's the same thing we saw with Lindsey. Horrible stuff.
It seems like Kass is being labeled the villain because of how she's playing, but other people are reacting to how she's playing, and they're not being singled out for it.
Right.
They're reacting in a negative way, but they're reacting at how she's playing. The conversations of strategy she's having, how she uses her strategy and her information.
Right.
That's what people are reacting to, and Kass is the villain. I'm not seeing that all that much. I mean, of course, we're not seeing she gets in an argument with somebody every day. Where's that? Obviously we're not seeing that if it's really happening. Well, what does she classify as an argument?
Right.
Was this a war that Trish had this week?
Yes.
An argument versus a war.
Yes.
But
well, anyway, I just recognized what Trish was doing as not somebody that was in control. And I mean, you get that bad, and you're saying stuff that you wish you could take back.
Well, see, I used to be the person that reacted to people like Kass, who would just sit there and look at you.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger. And when I got older and saw things and became more under the influence of my dad, I think I started to learn about, it does no good to react. Just like with referees and umpires, it does no good to go off. I'm constantly calming down my head coach that I work with and on the school team, and then I'm constantly calming down my assistant coach on the other team, and every now and then they have to calm me down, but still, there's no point.
Do you
just
yell at
move
yourself?
on.
Do you yell at yourself? It's like, calm down! No, I don't want to calm down!
In the inside. I've got right shoulder, left shoulder. Yeah, they have a little argument sometimes, but
in The Emperor's New Groove. Forget it.
Oh yes. Conk. He steals the show.
He's wearing a dress. You can't trust a guy wearing a dress.
Anyway, but I laughed. I'm sorry to say, I laughed when I looked at Kass going, do you see what everything Kass did was to make people look a certain way, and that's her strategy. And she was, I thought, very successful this week.
Well, okay, she is, but the only problem is, I can't tell you this, but the only problem is she tells people her strategy. You know, I mean, Kass, and granted, we're not seeing everything, but as I watch Kass's game, I understand why people don't like her, because they don't like people that have such control and, you know, kind of look at you like you're an idiot because they have control and you don't, and they don't like that. But her problem is not only, well, there's two things. She causes chaos, which isn't bad, except that everybody knows she's the one causing the chaos. Okay? So that's one thing. The second thing is she has a strategy, and she wants people to know my strategy is working. This is what I'm doing. Save that for the confessional camera, unless that's part of your strategy. But I don't see how that's part of your strategy, telling them what your strategy is.
Yeah, and you also pointed out, I think it was last week, about her wanting to poke things and start little fires and then back out of the way, not be the one that gets seen doing it. And then tonight she got called out for being, she's always the victim. She's never the one that's doing it. Right. She's always the victim, you know. And I don't know. I thought she had a good episode. My only problem is I still don't think she's got votes on the jury because of the people that are there. I don't think she had a chance to save those relationships. I think that's going to be her problem, is the people that are already there.
Although part of me also thinks that they want us to think that, because like even with her flipping the bird at the end, right? And then you go to see, you know, LJ shaking his head and people like that. But you know how they are with edits. He could have been doing that about anything. They want us to think that the jury disrespected that and didn't like that. But what we didn't, and that might be the case, but what we didn't see was a 2-hour tribal council. Well, what we didn't see was all the stuff Trish did, all the stuff that Trish might have said, all the stuff that Kass might have said, and they might have seen her flip the bird over to Trish and thought, yeah, she deserved it. You know, we just don't know. But they're definitely editing it so that they want us to believe that Kass could have no votes.
Right, because what I want to see is the jury go back to Ponderosa and their initial reaction to the tribal council.
Yeah.
Who were they applauding inside? Were they applauding Tony? Right. Were they applauding Trish for going after Kass? Or were they applauding Kass for sitting there making Trish look like she was losing?
Right. Well, they're not going to show us that because they're going to play the Ponderosa to the edit that they want.
Right.
All right. So, any other initial thoughts you might have?
No, just a couple initial thoughts in previously on, but nothing else really. It was just really good. My initial thought is that it was a great episode.
Yeah.
Really good. I mean, again, good challenges, decent challenges, but I love the camp life here in this game. These people are not holding anything back.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so Kass did a little.
It's time to bring out chaos, Kass.
She even said that in the episode. Good for her.
Yep.
We're getting a lot of Kass hate on YouTube right now. Where's the Trish hate? She put it out just as much as Kass did. So just saying. That's all I'm saying, buddy.
Is that all you're saying?
Okay, let's go ahead and answer the question now.
Uh-oh.
The reason why Tony did not play the hidden immunity idol for Trish or for himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason why he did not...
He did play it for himself.
Okay, I'm sorry. The reason why he didn't play it for Trish and then save the other one to protect himself is because he said earlier in the episode, I'm going to lie to everybody and tell them I can use it at Final Four.
Right.
So his plan is to this whole next episode, well, the next episode's the finale, but before the next tribal council, he's going to be like, you can't vote for me, I have this. The only person I think's going to know that might be wrong is Spencer. But Tony could get away with this because they don't know. They didn't see the note.
Right. But because Spencer knows you can't believe Tony. He's a good lie detector, but he's also a good liar. So he knows he can't believe him, but at the same time, Spencer says, if this is true, then it has to be a final two. Because if you can play it at 4, that means there's another immunity challenge. Because you can't play it to get to the final tribal council.
Right. But you can't play it at Final Four.
I know, but Spencer doesn't know that for sure.
Right. Right.
He doesn't know if Tony's lying or not, but he knows Tony can lie. That's what I'm saying. So he's so now, even Kass is a fan. She would know that too. I don't know if we would go that far, but I mean, Kass could even be thinking, hey, if he really can play it next time, we could be looking at a Final 2 instead of a Final 3. Yeah. So that also puts more thoughts into their heads that they may or may not need to think about.
Right.
But yeah. Now, why did he vote for Trish?
Tony voted for Trish?
You didn't see that? Oh. We'll save it for later.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, well, then he knew she was going home, so he just voted for her.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end.
All right, so Boy Wonder says, do you really think Kass calling Trish a skeleton banshee and giving her the finger was control? My answer to that is yes, it was calculated. And in other words, she didn't do it because she was out of control. She knew what she was saying, and I think everything Kass says is calculated. She's a lawyer. Everything she says before a jury is always calculated. Is it in good taste? Probably not, but I believe it was calculated. She meant to say it.
And I believe it's the one side of the argument that we saw, and we didn't see all the other side.
Everything. So, all right, those are our initial thoughts. So here we go. You said you had previously on was basically the Spencer and Tony show.
It's Spencer versus Tony, but it's funny because even by the end, it's like Spencer's playing sorry. He gets halfway around the board by the middle of the episode. Towards the end, he gets knocked out of his spot and sent all the way back to start.
Would you hate it when you're playing sorry and you're about to win? Somebody gets a sorry card.
You got to do that to your kids. You especially got to do it to your wife. Can't lose to your wife. But still, I feel like that's what Spencer's been doing for like the past 5 or 6 episodes. He's playing sorry. He gets way up to the top and then just gets knocked off. Even with the necklace on, he gets knocked off saying, that necklace is no good now because you got to win it again.
Yeah. I will say even in sorry I am competitive, although not as competitive as Monopoly. So sometimes in sorry, if I've made Connie mad with previous moves, I will knock one of my boys off to get on her good side.
Now, why are you different in sorry than you are in Monopoly?
Because I don't know. I don't play Monopoly enough.
Because you're vicious in ping pong, but otherwise.
Maybe because sorry only takes 20 minutes at the most.
Yeah, true.
In Monopoly, you're like, if I give her this Monopoly, the game's going to go another hour. I don't want another hour of Monopoly. It's so sore.
I don't want 1 hour of Monopoly, but anyway.
Oh, man. Okay, so back at camp. It's the night 33. They're back at camp. And did it surprise you that Spencer was asking this in front of Tony?
It surprised me that Spencer was asking it all because it's like he doesn't get why they don't want to take him to the end. Why don't you guys want to side with me? I don't understand. But no, it seems like everything's being set out in the open now because everybody wants to get everything out and let everybody know that somebody else is doing something against them.
Yeah, maybe
considering something. I wasn't really surprised. It was kind of like Tony saying last week in front of Spencer that I'm going to have to play my idol. So if they were making a move, they would know he had the idol or was going to play it. But no, I'm not surprised that anybody says anything in front of anybody anymore.
Oh, okay.
I was
a little surprised because Tony's just kind of sitting there going, I'm here, right? And he's kind of chuckling.
I wrote down that Spencer's view of Tony is not everyone else's view of Tony.
No.
Spencer doesn't want to go with Tony. Kass does.
Right. I think Kass is wrong.
I do too.
I think taking Tony to the end is a mistake because I think he can win.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
I do too.
I do like Spencer's line, if I have any hope at all, because I'm obviously next to go.
Mm-hmm.
If I have any hope at all besides winning immunity, it's that I'm playing with a bunch of people who know so little about the game. It's just like the first time. Okay, these are the kind of comments I was expecting from him all season and in front of people. Right?
You like the comment, but do you agree with it?
Oh, well first, okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I like the comment, but we thought he was going to be this way the whole season and in front of everybody. Yeah. I like the comment, and I like the fact that he made it in a confessional. Do I think he's in a game with people who know so little about the game? No, I think he's selling Kass and Tony short.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do.
And I think they're both could be selling each other short.
Right.
In fact, to me, this game is all about the strategy in the social game. It's not as much about the physical game. It saved Tasha for a while, and it's saving Spencer right now.
Right.
But this is really the strategic game. These two are playing a mind game with each other that's just awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. It's what I like about the game. I love the challenges, but I like the strategic side of the game.
Yeah. And Boy Wonder also in that same question, and this is related to what you're saying. He said Kass has gotten into fights with Sarah, Morgan, Spencer, Tony, and Trish. At some point, Kass needs to acknowledge the common denominator is her. I think she does acknowledge it because her whole strategy is to cause chaos.
Right.
Right. So Trish is doing. I mean, Kass does all of this on purpose. It's all part of her strategy. She pokes and pokes and pokes, gets the fight going, and then steps back and watches. Whereas Tony's. So she's in complete control of her emotions and stuff. Whereas Tony, she pokes him and he goes, berserko.
Yeah.
Right? So it's different, but it goes to what you're saying. It's two different styles
Absolutely.
of playing. And like you said to me earlier today, Kass and Tony are both playing quote unquote villainous types of games where they're, doing different types of things that make people mad.
Mm-hmm.
But Tony's being brought up as this hero and Kass is being portrayed as this evil person, when I really think they're both playing the same kind of game, just from different approaches.
Exactly. One swinging with the right hand, one swinging with the left hand.
Right.
Same
and
game.
It's fun to watch, man. It's fun to watch.
What are the chances that Kass makes it to the end and stands up and says, look, first, I want to apologize because I am not like the person you've been watching for the last 39 days.
Mm-hmm.
But what I did was I made a choice. I could either be the older woman that gets sent home first,
mm-hmm.
or I could be the person that you dislike enough that you want to keep around and take to the end.
Right.
I didn't have a choice. Look at that guy. Look at Spencer. Look at Tony. Look at Wu. I had no chance to beat these guys in challenges. My only chance was to get them to want me to stay so they could beat me at the end. But I did make it to the end.
Right.
I did vote you all out. I did poke. I did prod. I did make you dislike me, but I did it to get to the end of the game.
Right.
She
might could get away with that. She might.
Just a thought.
Well, what I'm saying.
You know what?
She's
certainly smart enough to do that.
She is, and she might could get away with it. There is that. It's a risky line because because part of the game is the social game. Has she gone too far socially where they can't accept that? Where she's crossed the line too much, and they're too upset and they're too bitter, quote unquote bitter. Maybe not, because maybe if she has a really good final tribal council and they see that different side of her, then especially the women, except maybe Morgan, would soften up to her. Maybe.
Yeah, because Kass didn't get to the point that Trish did. Trish, it seemed, was not able to keep it under control. Kass was like, she is getting skinny, but she looks like she's either been fed or she's drinking water. She's getting fluids. She doesn't look like she's suffering.
Yeah.
She just looks like she's keeping it, like you said, under control.
Yeah.
And that's her game. If that's her game the whole time, then mentally she is strong for 39 days.
Yeah. All right. Woo! What a fun night. I love it.
That's the first 5 minutes of the show.
Yes.
Of the episode.
We are a half hour into the show. We haven't even hit the next day yet. So Tony and Wu get on the boat. It's Tony and Wu on the boat. And we get Tony, basically Tony's getting Wu back in.
Right.
Right? But he makes a mistake, and he doesn't swear on his family, his dog, and his dead aunt.
Which seems to be the one way to tell Tony's maybe telling the truth.
Yeah.
Is if he swears on his dead father. His dead father passed away.
Yeah. So Wu tells him all, but Tony's in confessional. I hate it, but I'm going to have to blindside him.
Yeah, I did write down that I thought this was Wu showing some intelligence in the game, and when he talks about why he went back with Tony.
Yeah.
And not necessarily because Kass said to do it last week, like some of us
Right.
are saying, but because he said he can't beat Spencer and Tasha, but he wants to show loyalty to Tony to go further in the game. And this was still a point to show loyalty. But I mean, I still think it was the right decision to go back with Tony last week.
Yeah. Well, okay, but he said one thing that was a red flag to me, and that was it's the loyal thing to do to take him to the end because we've been together from the beginning. That's not how you play the game. That you're not playing to win if you do that.
It's not, but at the same time, you can say, I've been with Tony since the beginning. I've never turned from him. I've always backed him. I've always worked with him. It's almost the Jervis thing where he worked with Tyson. He's worked with Tyson the whole time. But sitting next to Tasha, he has no argument.
Right.
She's won the game. But sitting next to him, he's Tony. He could be listening to Kass and saying that Tony's the jerk, you know. And we even said, I've got no enemies on that jury. And Kass and Spencer are like, yeah, and that's probably why we're not taking you either. But for right now, we need your vote. And so I just think Wu choosing Tony over Tasha was a bright move for him. It was one of the first times we've seen him come out and say, I made this decision. So
Well, that's what I want to ask you then. Has Wu been playing with his mind the whole time and we just couldn't see it? Because this episode, they made a special effort to show us that Wu is actually thinking.
I think last week was the first time Wu was really put in a situation where he had to make his own decision. And I don't say that he hasn't been making his own decision, but he had to make a flip decision. He had to pick sides, where usually it's been Tony. Do I go with Tony or not go with Tony? It's always been go with Tony. But last week he was put in a situation where he could have caused a little Wu chaos.
Yeah. And I kind of got the impression that he surprised Kass with his vote. So even though they kind of led us to believe that Kass, and I believe that Kass got him to switch back to Tony, he kind of made it sound like it was his decision. Of course, that might have just been him saying that because we all want it to be our decision.
Right, and it could have been the edit that we saw, making us think it was Kass's strategy to move back.
So. All right, how about we get to the reward challenge? Which
slide right in.
Which, don't you know, Survivor's CBS was like, we should have done this a lot earlier in the season. A lot earlier in the season.
Like episode 1, you know?
Hey, we have a great idea, Probst. How about we have Ponderosa participate in this one?
Let's do a Ponderosa reward challenge.
Yeah, we're just going to let y'all watch, and we're going to have them come in and do the challenge. I guarantee you some of them would have needed 2 buckets.
So if Kass was using her hair to collect most of the mud, why did she still have it at the camp?
Yes.
I thought she was trying to get all that out.
Maybe she didn't make it to the bucket and she couldn't get it all out in time.
Yeah. But
Man, Tony figured it out, though.
I like that they didn't have to weigh because, oh my gosh. Okay, Tony doesn't need to go again. He can't get any more in his bucket.
Right. He's wiping it off its arms and it's hitting the top of the bucket and sliding over the side.
Yes.
I mean, good call on Probst.
Right.
Y'all, do we really even need to weigh these?
Do y'all want to concede? We'll just let you concede this challenge.
So are they all quitters then because they conceded?
Oh, the fix is in.
Yeah.
Your tinfoil buff off.
You know what it is? Tony's bucket had a false bottom.
It already had a 2-inch lift in it.
And that's why they didn't weigh it. I guarantee you Andy Baker's going to think they had a false bottom.
Bucket.
Yeah, he had a shallower bucket, and if they had actually weighed it, his would not have weighed as much. His tinfoil hat is going to be twice as big this week.
Because they didn't tell us that they based the bucket on everyone's height. So
Yes.
Tony got the shorter bucket. They skipped that part.
Yes. Okay, there will be conspiracy theories out there. I guarantee you.
Well, then there better be one for the immunity challenge, and we'll talk about that later.
Yes, okay. So 10 minutes to get mud in the bucket. I love this challenge. I really do. It gives them. It is tiring to go run and jump in mud and get it all over you. I mean, 10 minutes of that's tiring. You know?
I know we were joking to begin with, but I would have liked to have seen more people in this challenge. Do team challenges. I'm serious. I think it would have been hilarious to watch all these people running back with mud.
Okay, how about this? You're in groups of 2.
Mm-hmm.
One of you has to go out, come back, and the other person has to wipe the mud off of you.
That's Survivor late night. And no, we're not talking about that.
That is late night Survivor.
After hours.
That would be so horrible. Oh, sorry. Sorry, that's just kind of funny. They'd all be fighting over who their partner was.
All right, let's draw rocks again. This didn't work out the right way.
Imagine if you got Richard Hatch.
Okay, what about the challenge that you liked? Let's go back to the challenge.
Oh, gosh. Wow, we just lost like 20% of our viewers. What's up with that? I'm sorry, y'all. All right. Oh, man. Winner gets a piping hot pizza delivered to camp. Now, my original thought was, really, they get a piping hot pizza? How about a massage or how about, a mud bath? But then I got to thinking it's getting delivered to camp. So everybody's watching you eat the pizza.
That's funny because my first thought was, wow, just a pizza? And that's all they're getting for this? And then my second thought was, they're starving. I mean, but Tasha mentioned they hadn't eaten for a while. It's still food, though.
How about pizza and like a gallon of water?
Well, they got drinks, but
water. Oh, yeah, that's right. They got beer and stuff.
Yeah.
Which, if I'm out on the island, man, I want water.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't drink beer and I don't drink Cokes, so I
don't think it was beer. I think it was some sort of soda or something. But anyway.
Well, anyway, so they did get to have it in front of everybody, which is good. So that's good. So let's see. Anything else about the challenge?
No.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
Were you surprised he picked Trish?
A little, but after he said it, I could see why. But I mean, I was a little surprised, but I guess he felt like he had Woo. And I mean, I think he already knew he had Trish, but he was probably doing it just to be nice to her in case he wanted to send her to the jury. Maybe he was building future favor.
Well, now he said he was going to blindside. Okay, in a confessional, he says he wants to blindside Woo.
Right.
And I think he does want to take Trish and Kass to the final three. So I'm not really sure why he picked Trish.
Well, probably because she was starving. Maybe she was the one complaining the most about not eating.
Yeah. Or that meant more pizza for him.
I don't think he had a problem getting all that he wanted. Yeah. When you swallow a piece by piece, it goes pretty quick.
All right, so back at camp, Kass is glad about the choice. She says that it shows that they're, tight, which is, of course, why they have you pick somebody.
Yep.
So, in fact, they're connected at the hip. They're like two baboons. I'm surprised she isn't picking ticks off his body.
I like that she's pointing out stuff that we as viewers, longtime fans, should always see.
Yes.
Any move has a purpose. And I like Kass. She's not just saying Tony's showing who his favorite is. She's saying Spencer and Woo are seeing, who Tony's picking. And they need to react to this, just showing how much control she's got in her side of the game.
Right. Which is, so she starts getting this plan in her head.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get Woo to distrust Tony.
Yep.
Because he's so tight with Trish.
I just need some information. I need something given to me so I can get Woo to distrust Tony.
Yeah. What'd you think about Spencer's analogy?
Which one?
Tony gets pizza delivered to him on a silver platter, just like he's trying to get this game delivered to him on a silver platter, or just like he's getting this game delivered to him on a silver platter.
So is he wearing a tinfoil buff in the game?
Maybe so.
The game is, it's like the haves and the have-nots. Tony has been a have the whole season.
Right.
Of course, he's had to work for it. He's had to go find his stuff.
Right.
He's had, this is the first challenge. I think he's maybe won.
Well, what he's saying is the other players are giving him the game on a silver platter, not CBS. In other words, Tony's doing all this game, and no one's seeing it. He said no one seems to care that Tony is winning everything and he's controlling everything. They're just handing him this game on a silver platter, much like CBS handed him pizza on a silver platter.
Yeah, I could see. I can see that where he's seeing Tony is like he sees Tony as like the Spencer, whereas Tony sees Spencer as Spencer. Because Spencer doesn't see why they don't realize they can't beat him, but at the same time they're looking at Spencer like we can't beat you.
Right.
So.
All right. So were you surprised he told her he had both idols at first, initially?
Yeah, especially the superpower idol. But I mean, you figure he's going to tell somebody eventually. But I love the lie. That's why I love that. Yeah, right. Exactly.
He can't have the lie if he doesn't tell her. So at first I was like, why are you telling her unless you're planning on using it with her? Mm-hmm. And then he says, I'm going to lie to everybody and make them think I can play this to Final Four. So he says, yeah, I can play it this time and the next tribal.
Right.
So, he's doing it, man. All right. So let's go to the next day, day 36, and this is when Tony approaches Kass because he wants to take Kass and Trish. So tells her he knows everything, that Wu told him everything. Now, don't you think shouldn't he know Kass well enough to know that she's going to want to cause chaos and it's going to go stir up trouble? Or does he think that she needs him so badly that she's not going to do that? Maybe a little too much confidence.
I think it was a little too much confidence in that he may have misread or he underestimated. I think he underestimated Kass this episode in the sense that he thought by going to her and trying to be, which I felt was completely honest, that he wanted to take her to the end, just like she wants to take him. Hey, you two need to realize you guys want to take each other to the end.
Yeah.
You're kind of playing into each other's hands. And it was, I forgive you. It's okay. I understand. No hard feelings. But I know about what y'all did. It's almost like Kass tells too much information. Sometimes Tony may tell too much information.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I always like making up. I always respect it and I appreciate it. I like apologies because that's life. That's the social game that you play. Whether you're sincere or not, you got to try and sell it at least.
Right.
But it's better to apologize and let it roll, whether they believe you or not, than to carry the animosity or carry the distrust on and on. And sometimes you apologize or over pursue it. And I think that's what happened. And Kass got to the point, well, really? You're going to accept, you think I need to apologize? It's kind of how she took it. And she basically said, thanks for the information.
Yeah.
Now I've got what I need to turn that guy, to turn your loyal follower against you.
It's time to bring out chaos, Kass. Just take things up and show my sass.
Which is so true. That's exactly what she's going to do now. She even said it. It's time to bring out chaos, Kass, and mess things up for Tony. So it's great. He goes, talks to Wu.
Yeah. Hey, so
Tony, Wu, you told him everything?
No, I didn't say nothing.
Tony walks up like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, Kass says, Tony Wu said he didn't say all that.
Yeah.
If he could have reached across and smacked her across the head, he would have done it without Wu seeing him.
This is like, okay, I'm not saying Kass is a 3-year-old because this is all part of her strategy. But this is like, you tell a 3-year-old, now don't tell him I gave you this Tootsie Roll, right? And then their parents walk up, look what I got!
Daddy didn't give it to me, or Uncle Dwayne didn't give it to me because he told me not to tell you that he gave it to me. So I'm not telling you that he gave it to me. But she's playing all nice and calm, but she's like, I know. Why don't y'all two have it out right now since you've been caught?
Yes, exactly. Watch her as Tony gets upset and as Wu gets upset. Watch her the whole time. It's all calculated. It's all part of her strategy.
There's a guy I used to work with. He's an older guy. When we used to have lunch, we'd all sit at the same table, and some of the desks were around the table. He never sat at the table because there wasn't always room. He always sat at his desk, but he got into the conversation sometimes. But we used to call him Firestarter because he would take a little bit of information, and he would say it at the lunch table, lean towards us and say it, and then he'd go back to eating his lunch privately as the arguments ensued or the conversation took a negative turn.
Yes.
He'd be over there grinning, just as smiling as he could be, and we would call him a fire starter. Keep your matches on your desk and quit flicking them at the table because you're just starting fires. And she's doing it in the tightest of quarters. Yeah. And it's what, it is because of where she is in the game. Chaos is exactly what she has to do. That's all she has on her side. I'm sorry, but she's not going to win a challenge. She's not going to win one of these physical challenges. It's the camp game is what she's got to play, and she's doing it pretty well.
Hey, think about it. She has no business being this far in the game. She was cast as the older lady.
Was she like 70 or something?
She's 45 or something. She's my age, but she was cast as the older lady.
Yeah.
Who probably would go home early.
Mm-hmm.
No, she's fought her way through, and it's because of the way she's playing. At the beginning, because what she did to Wu worked. Okay, look, you may not like her, but what she did to Wu worked. He questioned Tony because Tony didn't swear on his wife and kids and dead dad to a Wu, so she got under Wu's skin.
Right. She's done this a lot. She's did this back for Luzon. She could have been gone if Tasha and Jatia hadn't done what she did, they were supposedly close from what we saw. Why not keep Spencer the strong person and let Kass go? What's Kass doing?
Yeah.
But she got a relationship with Tasha and stayed in the game, and she's still there. She flipped on the group when she needed to because she thought she was at the bottom, whether she was or not. And now she's in the final, 4? She's in the final 4, the only woman left.
Final 5. There's 5. Wait, now I'm confused.
Now there's 4. Now there's
you're right.
final
You're
4.
right.
I mean, she's gotten to the next week.
Sorry. Right.
With all the little parts. Her and Spencer both. I mean, but Spencer's done it basically by winning challenges or he'd be gone.
Right.
She's done it not getting close to winning a challenge.
Right.
And she's still doing it. And people want to take her to the end, and that's what she wants.
Yeah.
You know, some people you got to go in it, and if you can't win the physical game, you got to get kind of taken to the end.
Right.
She's working her way, but at the same point, she's being taken to the end. Doesn't matter how you get there. You need to get there.
It almost makes me want to just say, okay, listeners, people who are watching, people who are listening, remember this is a game. These people came into this game, and they are playing the game with their strategy. So I can look at all of them and respect their game if I see it as strategy. So I can watch Tony play the game, and I can respect the way he's playing. It's all strategy, except every once in a while he kind of gets emotional, right? Mm-hmm. I can see Kass and the way she's doing it. I kind of see Wu now, you know, a little bit today. Maybe he's starting to make moves. Spencer, you can see him calculating and how he's going to play the game. But what I'm talking about is people get these, I don't like Kass and I don't like Tony. I hate them, and they say horrible things about them, and they get on social media, you know, like they have a right to talk to these people like they're trash. Just take all that away and look at how they're playing the game. They're playing the game. That's all they're doing. They're playing the game. So I don't think this is indication of what they are in like real life. This is what they've chosen to do on the game, and this is their strategy.
Because I don't think Kass's argument with Trish or Trish's argument at Kass had anything to do with Kass's strategy. She actually overheard it, and she kind of went after Kass.
Yeah.
To me, that was just a part that CBS edited into the show. It wasn't even needed. Because she didn't need to pick out Trish. They already decided on Trish.
Right.
You know, we can't get Tony because of his idol. But
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I agree. There's 5 different strategies going on right now, and everybody has their own story.
Right.
And it's how you get there and how you play. And I'm sorry, but she's starting to build an argument. How am I still here? Yeah. I'm the older woman that can't win a challenge. I haven't found any idols. I'm not getting picked into any of the groups or the private groups that are in here. My alliance didn't necessarily like me. People started picking on me from there. I fought back, and then I switched. I mean, nobody's asked me to join their group. Right. I've been playing as a free agent this whole time. I've never felt like I've been part of anything, and I'm still here.
And then, I agree with all of that. And then, you know, to be honest with you, Trish, even though I think she got a little out of control, her purpose was to put the target on Kass. So even Trish had a reason for why she went off on crazy, all banshee-like. Mm-hmm. She wanted to put the emphasis on Kass and get Kass out, which it almost worked.
Well, it's almost like what Tasha did, pointing out about Tony. You know, if he's that mean, you want to get rid of him, and Kass was like, no, I want to keep him. Yeah. You know, and then Trish is pointing out, you know, she fights with everybody, nobody likes her, yada yada, and then Tony's like, yeah, that's somebody I want to keep.
Yeah.
And Wu's like, we should probably keep her around.
Yeah.
You know?
Now.
Spencer's like, I don't care. I just want to be there.
Yes. At this point in the show, my TV was going berserk, and all I heard was Tony talking like a llama. What the heck was that?
That was him being mad. I think he was talking about Kass acting like a child again, or acting
like an animal.
Or she called him an animal, I think he said, the tribal council. And he said, then I'm just going to talk to you like an animal. It was kind of silly, but it was Tony going off on Kass for giving out information. You know, and if there's somebody like Kass, it's 34 days into the game, and you're going to trust Kass with that kind of information, you know, to say, look, I mean, I don't know what I would have said. I mean, maybe he thought that he was coming to her and saying, look, I know about it, and it's fine. I still want to work with you. So let's just keep it under wraps or something. And then, but you're feeding another dragon. You know, you're giving that thing a little information that it can use against you.
Yeah. And then Kass explains herself. No, Tony, this is all part of my strategy, because now Wu knows that you gave him a final 3, but you just gave me a final 3, and so he knows that you're lying. You know.
And you hear how I sound like the sister talking about the foreign exchange student trying to be courteous and kind? Yeah. I'm not yelling at anybody. I'm not calling you names. I'm just pointing out that you've lied to everybody, Tony. And that's just not nice. Yeah. Woo, do you see this? Yeah.
And so then she does her post-strategy stuff and gets Woo and Spencer together.
Yep.
Right? So, Woo, he didn't swear on his wife and kids to me. Whoa. Dude.
Yeah, I love that. Kass says, I got the baby swear, the wife swear. Yeah. Did you get that, Woo?
Did you get that?
No. No. I'm out, dude. Oh, man.
Dude.
I'm not in.
He's like the turtle in Finding Nemo.
And later,
come on, dude.
I didn't get that swear. And Tony says, I'll swear to you right now.
Yeah. So Woo, she has succeeded because Woo is struggling, and he thinks Tony is going to blindside him, which he is. Tony's plan is to blindside Woo.
Yes.
You know? So
but nobody's supposed to know Tony's plans but Tony.
Yeah, so you can hate Kass all you want, but it worked. Yep. Hello? Kass didn't go home. Trish did. And Woo doubted.
Kass doesn't. Kass's biggest thing this episode that I forgot to write down was she doesn't want one person having that much power.
That's right.
He's got too much power. She wants to empower the people he's against, and the person he's against is Woo. He can't take Woo. He's a nice guy. He's played a good game, so she wants to empower Woo without Woo realizing he's being empowered.
Right.
Well, that's just another way of causing chaos. She should be writing a book about this.
Yeah. Of course, they set us up for later on because they show us that Trish heard.
Right.
And then we get Spencer saying, look, I am still the number one target. I must win immunity.
So if they've got a challenge that's got puzzles, I'm in.
Yeah.
So let's get like 3 puzzles.
Yeah. So let's get to the immunity challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Andy Baker puts on his tinfoil cap and thinks to himself, they want Tony to win, but they got to put a puzzle in to make it look like they don't, and it backfired on CBS.
Well, see, I thought the other way around. This is where I think they put in for Spencer to win to keep the game fun, keep the game interesting.
Yeah, maybe so.
Don't give. We've already given Tony so much. We can't give him everything. We got to give Spencer something.
I don't buy any of that, by the way.
Yeah, we are being facetious.
Yes, Jacob's Ladder. Whoa. Talk about a crazy challenge. Now, Tony really kicked butt on this challenge up until the puzzle.
He finished the first 3 legs in first place.
Yeah. I mean, if this was just a pure physical challenge, he would have won it hands down. But and I love the way he untangled the braid. He wasn't looking at his hands. He was constantly looking at the braids.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he could type without looking at the keyboard.
Yeah.
And I can't. And that's why I'm slower typing. And that's why the other players were slower untangling their rope, because they were looking at their hands, and he was looking up at the tangled rope.
In fact, Kass didn't know the key came down until it hit her. It hit her in the hand.
Oh, there's a key. Oh,
there's that key.
Oh, I wasn't sure. I wasn't listening to you, Probst. I wasn't quite sure why I was untangling these ropes.
I just thought it was neat.
Yeah. Wow, we get to move these around. Oh, man. So early, Tony just kicks butt all the way up to the. But then when he gets up to the puzzle, he's just moving stuff around, man.
They're gonna come together. Eventually, they gotta come together.
Yeah. Which, after a while, that might actually work.
It could.
But Spencer got up there.
But not the same day you're supposed to be finishing the puzzle.
Yeah. Now, this is the impression I got, because I heard Jeff say, "You did it so fast that it surprised me," or something like that. You know like why? I turn around and it's done. Because Spencer just looks at it, figures it out, and then does it. Right?
Yep.
Man.
And the one of the clips, I think Mike from SoCal actually put on our Facebook page, we showed the behind the scenes of it, and the Dream Team did it. And Probst actually got up there with the 4 people that got up there, started working on the puzzle, and the first guy up there didn't win, so I think somebody got second or third, but he actually laid down on a bench and said, I'm going to take a 15-minute nap because this is going to take at least that long.
Right.
And what I wrote down was Spencer and Tony did their puzzles the way they're playing the game. Tony's all over the place, moving 90 miles an hour, trying to find the right thing, and sometimes it pops up, sometimes he finds it. Spencer's taking it more slow and methodical, picking the one thing he needs to do right, which is either put the puzzle together and win the immunity challenge. Spencer's not doing a whole lot else that we get to see. He's finding the right conversations. He's trying to have these talks, but in the end, he's trying to focus on the one thing he can do right to save himself, and it was fix the puzzle, win the challenge, and that's what he's been doing the last few episodes.
Right.
So I thought it was a neat analogy that the way they were doing the puzzles. Tony was still doing the puzzle Red Bull style, and Spencer was doing slow and methodical. Put the pieces together and find your out.
This is what Spencer was saying.
I ain't going nowhere. Survivor's my game. Spencer is my name.
He was staying alive, buddy.
But I'm with Tony. Give me another hour, I still probably wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And then LJ posted on Twitter, he goes, I'm going to do a puzzle tomorrow just for some therapy or something, just to work on my nerves. All these great puzzles, and he's not there to do them.
Yeah, really.
And this was the first, wasn't this the first? We've seen Tony help people with puzzles from behind, but I think this is the first one he's had to do hands-on.
Right.
And Spencer's done a few before. So I was thinking, man, if Spencer gets there at the same time as Tony, Tony's in trouble.
Yeah.
He better get a big lead. And that was his goal, to get a big lead.
And he got it.
In fact, I think Tony was less close to finishing than he was midway through working on the puzzle. It looked like he had the middle section, and then he tore it apart.
Like, no matter how many times I rotate these outer sections, it never changes.
Then he had the top and bottom, and the top middle, and then the bottom was backwards. No!
You know what would have been funny? If Tony would have just gone, to heck with this, start ripping them out.
Like the Rubik's Cube. I got a Rubik's Cube with one corner missing.
Yeah. And then putting it back in and go, I got it finished. It's finished, Jeff. It's finished.
I got an idol that says it's finished.
Oh, man. But great challenge. Of course, poor Kass and Trish and them they never had a chance.
No.
Yeah, never had a chance. Oh, my gosh. So let's go back. Oh, so Spencer kicks butt, wins second immunity. So you realize in the last 5 immunity challenges, Tasha won 3, and Spencer won the last 2. Spencer could win this thing out and then win the game.
Well, of the last 6, he's won 3 and Tasha's won 3 because Wu won the
There
first.
you go.
And
Yes.
they've won all the ones since.
Man.
Last thing I loved about the challenge was the look on the faces down below. They had that look of, I don't even see that piece down here.
Yeah.
That's the worst feeling when
Yes.
you're trying to put the outer edges of a puzzle together. I don't even see another corner piece.
Right.
What's missing the corner piece? Hey, Jeff, I'm missing one. I got to be missing one. I don't see it.
Yes. It was like Christmas whenever our kids were doing the puzzles together at Christmas.
Yeah.
And they would get so frustrated, and then you and I would walk up and go, oh, here it is, stick it in there, and they get all mad at us.
Or when they weren't looking, we walk up there and finish the corners and say, it's done.
Don't you hate it when someone does that to you?
Where did you find it? Oh, I had it in my pocket the whole time.
Yeah. All right, so let's go back to camp.
Mhm.
Spencer, I love it. I'm just going to sit back and watch them cannibalize each other.
Yep.
And Trish goes at it.
What
and
a-
again, this is Trish trying to call it. Okay, Trish knows Spencer's not a target. Trish wants to get the target on Kass.
Right.
Boom, attack.
I was going to say, I just love Spencer's smile. He wanted to smile so much bigger when he walked up there, but he knew he had it coming. But it's like, give me my popcorn and my drink so I can sit back and watch the show.
Yeah.
Somebody just needs to tell me who to vote for because one of you people's going home.
Yeah. So after all that big confrontation, which to be honest with you, they didn't show us nearly as much as they did with her and Lindsey before she made Lindsey so upset that Lindsey quit.
But what target do you think Trish was trying to put on Kass?
To make sure Kass was going to be voted out.
To show that she was being sneaky, that she was backstabbing?
Yeah, she was trying to point out, she likes to get people mad at each other. She was pointing out Kass's game.
To Tony and Wu.
Yeah. Look,
Right.
y'all can't trust her. She's always getting people mad. She's always doing this. She always acts also innocent. Which all of this, all of that stuff is true. I don't know what else she said that made Kass so completely mad. But but she's trying to get the target onto Kass.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, I think Trish went overboard, not based on what I saw, but but the way I saw her talking, she looked like she was out of control. You take that and you compare it to what she did with Lindsey before Lindsey quit. And very similar, and she said some really horrible things to Lindsey, and so I just think she probably took it too far.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she did it because she loses control. but that's just, I don't know her. I've only seen her on the show,
It sounded like
on her YouTube page. I only see her for 42 minutes an episode.
It sounded like she'd had enough. She was at that point, and she was scared because she probably knew it was going to be her or nobody else, or somebody else had to be. She just didn't want it to be her, so she's fighting back.
Right. So, Kass, once those three go off, Kass and Spencer are talking, and you know what? This is two intelligent people going, you know what? If those three vote together, there's nothing I can do for you, Kass. And Kass is like, you're right, so I'm going to go try to do this, and calmly talking about what they're going to do, what their strategy is going to be. I like it. I like it.
And what's great about this whole episode and the editing is every segment worked to her favor in the sense that she planted seeds throughout the whole episode to get to this conversation. She knew sooner or later she was going to have this conversation with Wu, and she probably didn't have to say a whole lot. And I think it was Wu even gave the confessional after Tony did the swearing again, and Wu did a confessional and said, I've been with him since the whole time, been loyal, but I just don't trust his promises. Yeah. He's making them to everybody.
I still don't trust him.
And
again, shows you that Kass's strategy worked, my friends that are watching.
She planted the thoughts, planted the seed. She did a little inception, went back in his dreams, and put the thoughts in his mind, and brought it to the forefront. And I'm not saying he was easy fodder. I think this is Wu making a big decision. He doesn't trust somebody. Problem is, he's joining up with somebody he can't beat. He thinks, but this is what we're not seeing in confessionals. We're not hearing them talk about how they think they can win. Although Wu said to Spencer and Kass, if he knew it was a final two, if it's going to be a final two, he shouldn't be telling them why he can win.
Right.
Like Tony says. Tony was smart. He said, hey, Kass isn't going to get any votes. You and me, it's a toss-up.
Yeah.
That's what you want to hear. That's what Wu needs to hear. But when Wu's telling them, I don't have any enemies on that jury. I got all their votes, is what he's got to say. And Spencer Kass like, yeah, that's true. Thanks, Wu. Good information. But you are voting our way right now, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. Goodness gracious. So Probst has said y'all need to make big moves enough this season that Wu says it may be time to make a big move.
Yes.
Subliminal implanting of words into Wu's brain.
Were you tribal council now?
No.
I thought that's what he said.
No, I was just. Probst's been saying time to make big moves all season.
Oh, gotcha.
And during Wu's confessional, after he was talking to Tony and Trish, was, I don't trust him. It might be time to make that big move. So then we get Wu and Kass together, and then Spencer eventually comes up.
So is this when the cameraman was saying? Do you remember what Probst was saying about big moves?
Yeah.
You want to say anything about big moves?
We got a big move comment. Affirmative. Tell Jeff that's a 5 up for him.
It's a keeper.
Yeah.
So, Wu, yeah, I'm definitely going to maybe vote out Trish.
Definitely maybe.
I am 100%, 90% sure I'm going to do that.
And then Tony's doing a little spying.
Yeah.
And so then I start formulating this because you knew you're getting close to tribal council, and I'm thinking, if they, and I talked about this on Facebook right after an episode. I was waiting for you, and I said, with that happening, if he sees that, he could actually play the idol, but play it on Trish, knowing he's still got the other one just in case. And then they blindside Wu, which he needs to do anyway,
right?
Just for turning on him. So that could be a double turn, but
yeah, you asked earlier in the show why did Tony vote for Trish, and I didn't see that. I just guess I wasn't paying attention, or my TV was pixelating. But this was probably why. He probably could read Wu very well, and Wu realized that Wu was going to vote for Trish, and the other two were going to vote for Trish, and so I don't know why he voted with Wu though.
I think it's because
he didn't have Wu, so he voted with Wu.
I think it has to do with the fact that they didn't blindside Wu. He may never even thought about that, but Tony saw that last immunity challenge and saw how bad, I'm sorry, but how bad he lost. And if he's got any chance of knocking Spencer out, somebody's got to beat Spencer. And if it's not Tony, it's got to be Wu. Nobody else is going to beat Spencer at any of these challenges if it's a physical non-puzzle challenge. So he can't blindside Wu to get rid of him. So I think he's got to work with Wu. He could go back next week and say, look, I went with you guys because I saw there's no option, but at the same point, I wanted to show to you that I was loyal because Trish wanted to vote you out. He could come up with some sort of story. He's good at that. But I wanted to go back to you and show you that I'm sorry about what I've said. I've done this, that, and the other. But if we can't beat Spencer, maybe you could beat me because I'm not the nicest guy. But we got to win the next challenge, and we got to get rid of Spencer. He's got to go back to get Woo. It's like he can't vote Woo out yet because somebody's got to beat Spencer, or Spencer's going to be in the final. And who's got a better shot than Woo? Tony does, but maybe Woo does too. That's better odds of beating Spencer than keeping Trish.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe that's the reason why he did it.
We'll find out maybe in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, maybe so. By the way, we have confirmed we have post-interviews, full show interviews with both Cassandra and Tony.
That's Kass for all you watchers out there.
Yeah, Kass and Tony, both. In fact, Kass even said she'd go on with Tony and that they would have it out. She said, we're like brothers and sisters, and we're friends in the end, but boy, do we ever get into it. So I don't know if I want to have them on at the same time or not, but we definitely have Kass, and we definitely have Tony.
Yeah.
And we're also going to do a roundtable with Andy and Steve for sure, Andy Baker and Steve Helling for sure. Steve Helling writes for People Magazine.
He was on last week.
Right, yeah, he was on last week, and Andy, of course, does the Baker's Dozen. And we are working on Scoopin'. I'm not sure if Scoopin's going to be able to do it because Scoopin's kind of stopped watching this season. Hello? Come on, Scoopin'.
He's a few days behind, it seems like. Yeah. He's slowly keeping up with the season.
So, but all that's post-Survivor, give you stuff even after the show.
But he can still join us because then he can tell us why.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to Tribal Council. And who's sitting in the middle again?
The Tony.
Tony. It's the Tony Show. The Tribal Tony Show.
What you doing there, Tony? Oh, this bag is too heavy, Jeff.
Yeah.
It's getting too heavy.
Y'all made this golden idol weighs too much.
And if you think this one weighs too much, what do you think this one weighs?
Yeah. So, we get Kass saying Trish rallied into me like a wild blue-eyed banshee, something, said all kinds of stuff. Which was funny.
I think she was waiting to say that.
It was funny because today I referred to the attack as a banshee attack. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't.
Yes, you don't remember me showing you that text message where I said if you can maintain your control through a banshee attack?
Okay. I was busy today.
Yeah, you just didn't even read it.
Probably.
Gosh. Kass said something about her capacity for hatred. Again, they're talking about things we didn't get to see all of. So.
Again, Kass is sitting like the victim, and Trish is getting kind of wild out on her.
Yes. And Woo, just like totally, Woo's like, Jeff, I see 3 brawn and 2 brains. I was like, what? Where is this coming from? I think Probst was like, what? Oh, okay.
Well, as soon as he said that, I thought, is he deflecting where the vote's going to go? And as soon as he finishes, he looks straight down, as if a move needs to be made, something needs to be done, and then he just kind of looks down. Yeah. I'm like, is he not wanting to show his face because he's got 2 aces? Or is he not wanting to show his hand? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to give his tail away, but that's why I said, oh, bye, Trish.
Yep. And then we have Kass explaining how her plan worked again. Mm-hmm. Tony's saying all this stuff. She goes, exactly, because my plan worked. It's funny because they're all saying all the stuff she did and how, and she's like, yeah, all that was on purpose.
But the funny thing is, her plan wasn't to be deceptive. It was to show that others are being deceptive. So her plan is not necessarily something she has to hide. I'm not hiding the fact that you're dishonest. Because you are. I'm being honest by displaying that you're dishonest. Yes. How is that wrong?
You're throwing a wrench in Survivor. It's not supposed to be played like this.
You're being too honest. Stop it.
Yes. Stop calling me out.
Didn't you watch on the show?
Emotional. Oh man. So Woo is apparently the foreign exchange student.
Great analogy.
Yeah, that was funny. And then Tony whips it out, both idols. Both of them.
Just the idols, right?
Regular one and the golden one.
Yep.
And he does this typical, you'll find out what I'm going to do with them later on in the game.
Yep. I won tonight, and I'll save one for later.
Yeah. Okay, I love Spencer's comment. Normally at this time, Jeff, I would point out we need to get rid of the strongest player, but he has both idols, so this obviously complicates things. I love it.
Yeah. His jaw kind of dropped. His face kind of went down when he saw the second idol.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
He got the pizza and the idols.
Yeah. And Probst is going, finally, they showed the idol.
Thank goodness, guys, because we only got one episode left.
Yeah. Oh, boy. So it's time to vote.
Which means now it's never going to be played.
Right.
And only the threat of it was used. Not even shown, not even brought out to the forefront.
And to be honest with you, unless it plays in the next week, it never really played into this game at all.
Right. Which is funny because, like I've seen on Twitter already and on Facebook, that Probst usually says this is the last time you can play an idol, and he didn't say that.
He didn't say that. I know.
But according to Tony, it was the last time he could play the idol.
Did he know that Tony was trying to lie to everybody and he didn't want to give it away like he did with Abby Maria whenever she acted like she had an idol and he didn't give it away that she did not?
Quite possibly.
Letting people play their strategy and not interfering?
Because now you got Spencer thinking, all right, well, Jeff didn't point that out that this was the last time. Mm-hmm. So that means Tony's got that idol and he can play it one more time. So Tony's in final three.
Did the clue say it could only be? Well, no, because Tony said.
Yeah, Tony said final five was the last time you can play him.
Right. All right, so Tony plays his idol on himself. Why? I think because it was the last time that I think he was feeding the story that this was the last time it could be played. So I don't need it. Okay.
Get it out of the woods. Get it out of the game. You take it. That was the story. He said, "This is the last time I can play it. There's no point in taking any risk. Here, I'll play it."
Okay. So he played it to help his lie about the other one.
Yeah, because I really thought he was going to say, "Oh, by the way, I'm playing it on Trish." I thought about that until the end when it's like, okay, slap in the head. He didn't want to keep Trish either.
Mm-mm. All right, so Trish, Kass, Trish is out. Kass shoots the finger, which they tried to edit it so that it looked like it didn't bode well with the jury. I'm not sure if I'm buying that or not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there was a lot of jury reaction tonight, and we're never sure which way what it was for.
You never know when it is. I mean, I remember last season or a season before that where if you go back and you watch when they're making reactions, in the meantime, Malcolm had put on an idol, and so when they show that reaction, he doesn't have the idol on, and then somebody else says something and they show a reaction and Malcolm does have the idol on. So it obviously was not, that was a reaction from some other time.
Right.
They manipulate that so crazily and so readily. So there you go. What a great episode, my friends. Did Kass play well? Do you hate her? You have no business hating her. You can hate her game if you'd like. But goodness, you don't know her.
Yeah. As far as strategy and drama, I think it might have been one of the best episodes of this season. I really enjoyed it.
I did too.
I mean, I enjoyed the last challenge. I love how they throw these monster challenges at them. I like and I think even Andy talked about it Sunday. There's going to be a combination challenge coming up sooner or later where they put multiple challenges together from previous weeks. But I just thought the challenges were good, but the rest of it was just great. Yeah. The lie about the idols was great.
Yep.
The strategy from Kass was great. Even Woo going around. We finally got more Woo talking. We got more Woo than Trish for a change, and that was great.
A great final five. They're all playing the game.
Yep.
All five, even Trish going after Kass is playing the game. They're all five playing the game. It's wonderful. You don't have anybody that's just kind of there.
They're all playing. They're all using different weapons. They're all playing 5 different ways.
I guarantee you, Spencer will be invited back. Kass will be invited back, and Tony will be invited back. I guarantee you, of the final 4, those 3 will be invited back for sure.
Woo could even get invited back. We've seen stranger things happen.
Maybe.
If he gets to the final and makes a case for himself, whether he wins or not, he could be invited back.
That's true.
It's not. It's just like a song. It's not necessarily how you start. It's how you finish. That's what they remember.
Yeah.
Woo has
the
gotten a
last vote.
lot of coverage this year.
Yeah. Well, great episode, CBS. Good editing,
Yes.
good music, good cast.
Might be probably
Great.
my favorite so far. I mean,
Man.
I know it's second to last, but this was so good.
Yeah.
And we got to
Right,
see
so-
strategy from start to finish. I mean, she explained it, she told us what was coming, and then it delivered.
Yeah. All right, so let's look at some YouTube comments. Here we have KBE 1983. Tony was smart to vote for Trish. He needs Spencer to lose immunity next week, so he needs to get rid of the worst challenge competitor, which is clearly Trish.
Right, and Keith and Woo puts the odds against Spencer.
Right.
You know, somebody else he has to beat, which he might not beat.
Yeah. So, let's see. Well, Boy Wonder is not liking Kass. So, and then let's see. Did Tony just give away the game by voting off Trish? Yeah, let's look at this one. Did Tony just give away the game by voting off Trish and not using his idol on her? In other words, should he have been at the end with Trish? Did he leave himself fewer options?
Not if he thinks she would have taken votes. I also mentioned on Facebook, and everybody corrected me, but the last vote wasn't read. And if you know anything about Survivor, you'll know that the last vote wasn't necessarily needed.
Right.
So Trish should know that everybody voted against her
Right.
when she gets to Ponderosa. However, she's also starving, might not be thinking about it, and Tony could be hoping that she doesn't catch that when the jury comes around if he's in the final.
Right.
But I think at Ponderosa, she'll be reminded that that last vote was most likely her. It wasn't going to matter.
Right.
They always pull the votes out for suspense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could be one reason why he went along with it. There's going to be 100 reasons, and I'm sure we'll find them out.
Well, Will responds to this, Will the Giant Ninja. If Tony lost the game, it was when he let Spencer stick around and dumped Jefra, not when he dumped Trish. Tony still beats Woo and still beats Kass and still has two players who want to take him to the end. Keeping Kass over Trish does not hurt Tony. That is Will's response.
It's true. Spencer should not be in the game. He is way too deep in the game.
All right, Tim Ware says, is the jury's hatred of Tony and Kass enough for Woo to pull off a surprise victory? As much as I'm rooting for Spencer, he hasn't made many big moves, and even made some bad ones, and only has survived due to the personality clashes of the other contestants and winning immunities when he needs to, which granted has worked for him so far. Woo finally made a decision for himself this episode to take out Trish, and no one seems to have a bad word about him. I'm just saying it is possible. Well, anything's possible. I mean, he is if he's really well liked, you never know.
It's also going to come down to if he can explain his game well to the jury. But I still think Tony hasn't done anything maliciously. I think everything's been strategy, and I think he can explain it that way. And I think for the most part, some of those people are going to have respect for the strategy used versus somebody that tagged along.
Yeah. All right. Here's another one from Will again. I can't wrap my head around Tony's decision tonight. And I think he's talking about how he played the idols.
Mm-hmm.
The best I can do is assume he's thinking three things. The only way the other players believe his special idol is playable next week is if he's safe tonight. Trish is a bigger jury threat, and Trish will vote for him.
Yeah, like that's what we were saying too, or what I was saying about sticking with the lie. You got to feed the lie. So he plays the idol. I don't want to take this home. I want to be safe. Now's the last time I can use it. I'll use it now, but I'm saving this one for when I need it next time.
All right. Well, there you go. Yeah, and as we said earlier, he had to play it to protect his lie, to make his lie look real.
Yeah.
And so there you go. All right, man. Oh, there's one more thing that I was going to ask about this episode. What was it?
You were going to ask how it affected my Fun Office Pool scores. And I was going to go ahead and tell you this week that I was one of two people that put 20 points on Trish.
Oh, cool.
Hello? Yes,
Yeah.
we did.
Would that put you up in the 49th place?
It pushed me up into 18th place. I'm 11 points behind you right now.
Whoa! What? Who did I put points on?
Somebody with a 0.
Oh, okay.
But you did get one of the questions right. I think you got Spencer winning right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was just like
I got that one too.
I was saying Spencer all the way.
So I picked up 20 points on you, bud.
Well, good job, man. Like, I don't care.
Because you're still way above me.
Yeah, in our regular game, I'm way above you.
I'm not even checking that game anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I have anybody in it. Well, you're down. You keep getting goofy jury points. I don't know what idiot put so many points on making the jury, but you're still racking up points for that.
I believe you designed the game.
You're down to 3, and I'm down to 2. So pretty soon, it could be even.
So who's going to win, David? Who's winning Survivor? Who's going home this week? And then who's going... Oh, no, I know what it was. Final 2 or Final 3? Because we're going into the finale with 4 people. And there's always 2... There's like 2 tribals, and then I'm thinking we're going to a Final 2.
If there's 2 tribals, then there's a Final 2.
Yeah.
The question's going to be, who is thinking this before they get this surprise last challenge that might not have thought was coming?
Yeah.
I guarantee you Spencer's thinking about it. I guarantee you Tony's thinking about it, and probably Kass is thinking about it, because I think it was Steve Helling mentioned in all his exit interviews, he said it's so obvious that these last 5 or 6 are complete fans, complete super fans of the game. They think about every facet of the game.
Gosh, I love this season. This is why. Remember, you and I, just 2 best friends talking about the show we love. This is why I love doing this podcast, because of seasons like this. It's so much fun.
But you know what I hate? I want to see these Final 4 all make an argument, and probably 2 of them are not going to be able to make an argument, and it's not fair. I want to see all 4 of these people, even Woo. I want to see him go up there and make his case for why he should win, because I think if he makes it right, he could scare the person he's against.
Yeah, he could.
I think he could beat Kass. I think with Tony, he probably couldn't, but he could make it close. I think with Spencer, he loses. But I still want to see him make his case. I really want to see Kass make a case. I really want to see Tony, and I think Spencer's got the easiest case to make. But I want to see all 4 of these, and we're not going to be able to see that. And that's what's picking me off right now.
I love it. I love this season. And it just bums me out where we have a whole summer and another crappy season of Under the Dome, which I'm not going to watch.
I'm not either, because what's out inside the dome comes outside the dome.
What?
Really?
We are totally going away from the book completely.
We didn't even know there was a book anymore.
Book? Who's Stephen King? All right. So we've gone through YouTube questions. We want to know what you think about this. You know what? This next feedback show needs to be our greatest ever. You need to get your feedback in. Go to survivortalkwithdnd.com, click on the feedback menu, and give us some feedback about this show. It's due Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Get it in, and we are going to have a grand old time on our listener feedback show this Sunday night. And how about our new graphics? Is Drew Downs just kicking butt on our episode graphics, or what?
He's raised his own bar. I don't know how he's going to top it again, but we're going to have to get him to top it somehow with something.
Man, he's just doing a great job.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Love it.
So, and they can follow us on social media. Why don't you tell them about Twitter?
Twitter is this app you can get on your phone or any other place. You can follow the show and Dwayne specifically at Survivor_talk. And then me when I share blogs and retweets and stuff at David_STWDD. Don't forget to join our Facebook, like the dozens of people that have been joining us week after week after week. We're at 360.
350. We hit 350 today.
Oh, I thought we were more over that now.
Well, we might be. I don't know.
Yeah. And
I just know that every 25 I repost, this is how our group works, and I had to repost it quicker this time.
And the neat thing is you don't have to talk. You don't have to write. You just get to read all the great comments and conversations. It's comments and conversations just like this podcast on our Facebook page.
Yes.
String after string after string. And even in between those, you get the videos. You get shares from other Castaway sites of all the challenges coming up. You get all the blogs that we like to share with you, all that kind of great stuff. You find it at our Facebook page.
Yeah, and we are different from other Facebook groups. Other Facebook groups have about Survivor. You'll get to some of them, and there's mean stuff going on, and there's people getting mad at each other, having fights, and talking trash about people and stuff. That kind of stuff just doesn't happen in our group. So, it's a fun group to be a part of. We're kind of like a little family, and it's a lot of fun. And, of course, the top pinned post is a quick way to get to Amazon. And I'm serious. If you're like, going to Amazon's such a pain in the butt, I got to go through your link, just go to Facebook and click the top post.
Yeah, our Facebook page should already be a shortcut on your desktop.
Yeah, that's right. So hit the website for blogs. In fact, Colton has already sent me his Colton's countdown from the couch, so it will be up later either tonight or tomorrow.
His exams are over.
Yes.
He is writing.
That's right. So Colton's on there, Katya, and Shayna, of course, David's Survivor by the Slice, which, way to go, getting a second rider this last week.
And I think he's going to join me again this week. One more power rankings.
That's awesome. So any final words, David, before we get to your friendship quiz for me, for only those who are watching on YouTube?
I think this probably was my favorite episode because I love the social strategic side of the show.
Yeah, it was
great. This was awesome. And I like Tony, I like Kass, I like Spencer, I like Woo, and I like Trish. And I just thought it was great. And I'm still so ticked that we're not going to get 4 good arguments at the end of this game.
So you want a final 4?
I don't know. I know it's not going to happen, but I don't remember feeling this way before about a final 4 or 5. You know, I don't remember seeing stories like this that I'm like, I want to see this person get to the end and argue, and I want to see that. Tell me.
This is what's going to happen, David. This is what's going to happen.
Okay.
Since we have a full episode with both Kass and Tony, 2 separate episodes after the season, they're not going to make the final 2. So you'll get to hear Woo and Trish's argument as they're in the final 2, and we'll hear Kass's and Tony's on our show.
You sure you want to leave it like that?
No, I really don't.
Well, Trish has no chance.
I want either Kass or Tony in that final 2.
Trish has no chance of making a case. You meant Spencer and Woo getting the final.
Oh, whoops. Oh, my gosh. What an idiot I am sometimes.
But you're still my friend until you take this quiz. But anyway, right, because I'm definitely going to ask them what they're, especially if Kass doesn't make it. I really want, I think she will, but if she doesn't make it, I want to ask her what was her argument going to be, what was her case going to be. Yep. Of course, now she's had months to think about it. So.
Yeah. Well, all right, y'all. We're about to play our closing out music, and after that, stick around on YouTube, and we're going to do the D&D after show. So thanks again for listening, everybody. That's all I got. How about you, Dave?
I'm good.
All right. See you, everybody.
See you.
It's time to bring out chaos Kass. Just take things up and show my sass. No one knows how dangerous I am, but tonight they all will. They all will see. This time I brought out chaos Kass. Made you look like you were middle class. As your torch was snubbed, you couldn't grasp how I took your crown and crowned me. Yeah, you crowned me. Yeah, you crowned me.
Hey, we're going to go ahead and do a little shooting the breeze here. David and I just did our D&D after show, and we got to talking about some stuff. So, audio listeners, you get to get a little shooting the breeze. Enjoy. All right, so what's my favorite ice cream flavor?
Anything out of the Bluebell bucket.
No. What's my favorite ice cream flavor?
Vanilla.
No, it used to be homemade vanilla back when you knew me then.
That's the last time we ate Bluebell together. See?
Now,
so I get a point for that.
It is birthday cake, Bluebell birthday cake.
Do they sell it bigger than the small cups now?
I don't know, but I'll buy the small cups.
Because you try to limit yourself to just 3 at a time.
Gosh, dude, I am so upset with myself. I weigh more now than I have in 3 years. I weigh 247.5 pounds this morning.
I
am not happy. My doctor's going to kick my butt.
I am down. I don't know how much, but I'm down.
And guess what I did this weekend?
You didn't eat meat, did you?
I did. The last 3 days I've eaten meat.
Did you really?
Yes. I got so tired of not eating it.
Well,
and you know what? It wasn't that satisfying. You know, I bought like 12 hot wings.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing in the world, and they were greasy and had chicken feathers sticking out of them.
When did you do it? When exactly did you first have the meat?
When did I do it? 15 maybe?
15 days ago? No. What day did you eat your chicken wings? I'm telling you this asking this for a reason.
Okay, hold on. Saturday night, I think. No. Wait, what day is today? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday night, I think. I was working on the deck, and I was tired, and I came in.
You're not going to believe this. Because what have I given up since the first of the year?
Mountain Dew.
Soda. All soda.
Oh, all sodas.
Friday night, we had Davis's birthday party sleepover.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday morning, I took all the boys that were left in the house that survived to see Spider-Man 2.
Which I still have not seen.
About 30 minutes in, after 26 minutes of webbing and flying through New York, skyscraper to skyscraper, windows flying by your face, the back of my head starts splitting.
Yeah.
All the way to the front of my face.
Yeah.
And for the rest of the 2 5-hour-long movie it was,
Yeah.
I had a headache. Still enjoyed the heck out of the movie. Loved the movie, but I had the worst headache. And I think a lot of it comes from sitting with Davis, sitting with your boys watching movies, just loving how they love it.
Right.
I have this horrible headache, and we still got these boys. One of them goes with his dad, and I told Terry, I said, I don't care where we go, but I need to get an amp or I need to get something with caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go soda, but I want to get I need something because I need a quick release from my head. It is hurting. It hurt to take a step. Turning my head hurt.
Right.
And she said, let's just go to Wendy's. We'll get cheap lunch and get something. I said, I don't want that. She goes, let's just go. It's right there. So we went. I got a small Coke.
And you downed it in 2 swallows?
On Saturday, the same day that
serious?
you had meat. That's why I asked
failures.
you. This was probably about 1:30, 2 o'clock. And I didn't even drink it all. I only drank like half of it because I didn't like the taste of it. I didn't feel like I wanted it. But that's crazy that I haven't had soda since you had meat, and we both broke it on the same day. We're best friends.
All right. So yeah. So the fact that I lost doesn't matter anymore.
Forget this stuff. We're friends. That's crazy.
Okay, so have you been drinking it every day since? Because I've been eating meat every day since. No,
not every day, but I have had an amp because I got to get it for soccer practice some days. And those are caffeine. Those have sugar,
Okay. I haven't had amps. However, I've been drinking Red Bulls, and that's probably why I'm gaining weight. Because, it comes mid-afternoon. Okay, so today I say, hey, staff, which in this case was my assistant and my children's car coordinator, so it was just me and 2 women went to Huntsville and to eat at Mexican food, right? Because I love some cheese dip. All right?
Yeah. Who
love
doesn't?
some cheese dip.
Hello. Speaking of which, have you tried Tortillas Thin chips?
No.
They're just like Chili's. They're the yellow bag, restaurant cantina style, and they are the extra thin. Oh, my goodness. But anyway, cheese dip, go ahead.
So I ate 2 buckets of, 2 baskets of chips with, a bowl of queso, a quesadilla, chicken quesadilla, rice and beans.
Chip bowl.
Yeah, and I was like, how you're so full that your chest hurts?
No.
Oh,
I don't
that
get
happens
that
to
full
me.
anymore.
Well, anyway, I'm sitting in the back seat going, oh.
If you're so full your chest hurts, you're past your stomach.
I know.
You're pushing up too high.
So anyway, so I'm like, so by the time I get back to the office, I'm falling asleep at the desk, So I go out and get in my car and I drive so I go to the store and I buy a cranberry, the Red Bull, which is this cranberry. It's amazing. I love it. And I got me some cashews, which I shouldn't have, and a Snickers almonds bar.
You just ate so much that your chest hurts, and now you're getting cashews and a Snickers.
So I'm so full that I'm dying. And what do I do to stay awake? I get an almonds bar, I eat half a thing of cashews, and I drink a Red Bull. Oh.
But see, that's your problem with cashews. You're kind of like me. Once the bag opens, it probably doesn't ever get closed because it goes to the bottom.
They're so darn good, and they fill you up, though. You know?
See, I think I have dropped because it just dawned on me the other day that when I coach my club team, I don't do anything on the field because the girls are that good. I tell them the drill, I show it to them, and they do it. But the team I'm coaching at school, Gracie's varsity team, they're not as advanced, and I'm more involved.
Yeah.
So I'm actually back on the pitch taking part in the drills and the scrimmages, and I'm getting my exercise back again and not drinking the sodas, until Saturday. But that's where my exercise is coming back in. See, I haven't been on the pitch in a while because the team I coach that travels is so good I don't have to do anything. But this team I get to work with.
Yeah, I'm so out of shape. I'm so out of shape. It's pitiful. It's so pitiful.
You should go see Spider-Man 2. That'll get you in shape.
Oh, by the way, I was going to take Connie to go see Captain America. Apparently too late. because it's not
Yes.
showing anywhere.
No, that was like so last year.
Well, she just so like the Shield whatever, Agent Shield or whatever. The finale was last night or Monday night.
Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
Tuesday night.
amazing finale by the way.
Which I haven't seen. We watch it on Thursdays because we have to record it because he goes to bed, and
I was about to tell you who shows up in it. I guess I won't.
If I could guess.
He's
Anyway.
he's dark complected.
Oh yeah. Well, see, you haven't seen Captain America and understand the story behind that.
Yeah, so Connie's like, I gotta go see Captain America.
Yes, you do.
Mother's Day. So my whole Mother's Day plan failed. But our anniversary is next Sunday. Oh no. Well, it's okay. Well, we don't have a recap show. A feedback show next Sunday. So we'll have to schedule.
We don't?
'Cause that's my anniversary, and I want to take Connie to Tennessee.
We're not doing a postseason recap show? Feedback show?
I don't know. We just can't.
Apparently not next Sunday.
No, I'll be celebrating our anniversary in a hotel called the Grand Ole Opry Hotel.
Well, I can tell you that my Mother's Day plans weren't any better because after the headache, Saturday night about 8 o'clock, I'm under the electric blanket on the sofa that I got her for last year's Mother's Day, and she comes in and says, "What are you doing under a blanket?" And I said, "I can't get warm."
Oh, that's right. You were
And I
sick.
got the blanket on. Saturday night about 10, my hands and body is shaking so much that I can't. I go under my electric blanket in the bedroom. I said, "I got to go to bed," and I didn't get to go to church. I didn't get to go to lunch for Mother's Day because they didn't want me coming over if I was sick.
That's right.
So mine was not any better. And I'm thinking, was that Coke? Only drink like half a cup of Coke. It couldn't have been the Coke, but no, I think I was just sick.
Yeah. So before we end this, by the way, this last part has been a shoot in the breeze, and it will be on the audio podcast. But for those of you hearing this on the audio podcast, you still need to go back and watch the friend quiz that I lost. Maybe. I might not have lost it. Don't want to ruin it for you. So here's the
I
problem.
may or may not, did not admit or did not.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, really.
So here's the thing, right? It's 11:15 here, and it'll take Google forever. It'll take Google forever to get this video up. Although I may have a solution for that. But while I'm producing the show, post-production stuff, Connie bought a whole big box of Wheat Thins. How am I going to resist them?
You're not.
I'm not. I'm going to eat them. And then the other day she bought Klondike bars. I promise you, I had 8 Klondike bars in 2 days. I have no self-control.
Was your back hurting after that one?
I mean,
Your chest or your back, one or the other.
yeah, I was so full my eyebrows hurt.
They were falling forward.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right.
All right, we can sign off so you can tell me what Tony said.
Yeah. All right. Let me bye, everybody, by the way.
See ya.